Good evening, everyone, and welcome to day 518, our continuing coverage updates. War in Ukraine, huge day happening today, and we're going to get you completely caught up on that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for continuing to share, to comment, to like, subscribe, all of those things. Continue to give. I can tell you tonight, Zhenya, I spoke with him for quite a bit today, and our second refugee camp is going phenomenally well. 50 refugee kids are there. So, bueno. I think last week they ended up with a total of 80 campers, and this week with campers and staff, they're at 65. So 145. We're running through the camp, including our staff, and doing a good job. So thank you for being here. Let me check in here. Ricochet, welcome to you, sir. Reports of an attack on the airfield. Ukraine Air Force 7th Tactical Aviation Brigade in Star-Konstantinov, Khmelnytsky region. That's my home region. Going to confirm that for you 100% and give you some more info on that. If true, the target is almost certainly Su-24M bombers equipped with Storm Shadow cruise missiles. Correct. Not only that, Khmelnytsky was hit as well, and there's a reason for that. Because that's very, very important air region. We can put it that way with storage. Linda Cassio, stormy Greenville, Pennsylvania. Yes, that's my neck of the woods, and it's very, very stormy here right now. It was borderline if I could go live. It's just a lot of equipment in here that makes this happen, and I can't risk storms. God bless you, Don Gentilini. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Slava Ukraina. Rick Berry, Pat Schoaf, welcome to you. Boom, send that. We love you there. Chuck Pinkham, Ukraine, prayer continue for victory. Jeffrey Burnett, moderation man, checking in from Forest Hill, California, I'm sure. Welcome to you, Airdrome account. Glory to the heroes. Geroem Slava. That's what we'd say there. Skeghead, there's your hearts, buddy. Thank you for that. Stephen Phelps, welcome to you. Chill Dude, welcome to you. And we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But tonight, a lot of stuff to cover with you. And hopefully you'll have some clarity on what's happening over the last couple of days, especially today. So let's jump into it. This was basically the map for about 8 hours today. It was under constant air raid alert. I'm going to give you understanding as to what happened. Also, there's some mixed reports coming out about how many missiles were taken down. I'm pretty confident it was all of them. There are some conflicting reports that say 3 did hit their targets. The truth is, we'll never know. Zelensky, in his evening address, did not call it a 100% success. He did, however, say the air defenders did a phenomenal job. And I can quote what Zelensky said tonight in his speech. He said, there were some direct hits. So I'm feeling that the 33 out of 36 numbers are correct. I've got it marked as 36 out of 36 because that's what most reported. 36 missiles in the air. I'll translate that for you. That's today's date, July the 26th. Of course, if you're European, that's how you write it. Here in the US, we flip it. And then below that, bottom left, what that says is there were 33 X-101 or X-555 rockets, and there were 3 Krylate Rakety caliber class missiles. Now, in the upper right, I actually have 36 out of 36. We're going to go with that because it feels good. Could have been 33 out of 36. I'm pretty confident on that because I know there was a direct hit in Khmelnytsky. That's our home city. I know there was a direct hit, not a deflection hit. So we'll see. Regardless, big day in the air. Now, after the 36 missiles flew through the air, Russia then put the planes in the air and sent 4 Kinzhals, the hypersonic missiles. Those were directed at the Khmelnytsky region. And I can show you, this is what they did let's go here. And let's go here. The attack on Khmelnytsky today, I'm going to mark it right here. Khmelnytsky here, and Starokonstantinov is just to the north. When the missiles came in for Khmelnytsky, they actually came all the way to Lviv, came out to the border, turned around, and came back. So that's what happened. Now, I've got some video out tonight coming from Russian occupied southern Kherson. Now, you guys know and are aware that everybody in the occupied territory is not pro-Ukraine. There are some people there that are pro-Russian, and they make it tough. So today, there was some guys swimming in a pool or a lake or a bog or whatever, and this is the way it looks like in the southern Kherson region. Kind of, it can be like mud bogs and swampy. And these guys are out there. I'm going to play you these two videos. One of them, he drops a colorful word, but unless you understand Russian, you will not understand it. So I guess we're good. And I'm going to translate you what he says. So this is just a guy, Kherson region, pro-Russia, filming the cruise missiles today. So if you want to know what it's like, and I've actually had these go over my head quite a few times, it's very scary. So let me show you this first one, and here we go. He says that's the 13th and the 14th one. He's been counting them. There's the ball. Look at that thing go.
Now
he's talking some colorful language, and he says it's our guys doing this. So he called them out as numbers 13 and 14. So now here's his second video. Definitely a different angle. That one's further over. He says this is also our cruise missiles. That's number 16 and number 17. There's the bog. That's southern Kherson. You can see the fields are planted. That's in the occupied territory. So that's what's happening. That's what was flying all over Ukraine today. It's a really good day. We'll call it 36 out of 36. That's what most said, but there were some hits. Now, the question would be, why does Russia do the large attacks when they are always repelled? Well, they're not always repelled. They're usually in the 90 percentile. They've been pushing it down to 60 percentile. But I think it was in the chat earlier. The reason they don't care about the 40 missiles today. They don't care. They were going for a specific target. It's completely obvious. Air defense from Yuri Ignat, that's his name, director of the Air Force, came out and said, okay, 100%, this was an attack on Khmelnytsky region and Starokonstantinov. Now, you may be out there and wondering why Starokonstantinov. I'm going to show you. This is absolutely permissible to show, but this is what the map looked like. And you can see this is in west central Ukraine. This is our home base here. I've been in the city of Starokonstantinov hundreds of times. Hundreds. It's just right up the street. 45 minutes from Khmelnytsky. Lots of my friends live there. I've got lots of friends that work on the Air Force base. So I'm telling you, this is firsthand accurate information. There were some damage done in Starokonstantinov, but not to the planes. In Khmelnytsky, there was a direct hit in a warehouse district outside of the city, in the city, but on the outside, where things are stored. I'm not going to show it on the map. I'm just telling you 100%. Khmelnytsky was hit, and we know there are supply stores there for the Star-Konstantinov Air Base. It's the way it is. In fact, the largest explosion I've ever shown on this stream over the whole war, if you guys remember, happened in Khmelnytsky. Now, I have this here. I'm going to go for you. It's ready to go. This, well, it's kind of goofy there. Let me zoom out so I can orient you. Right here in the middle of the map, here's Khmelnytsky. And then right up the road is Starokонstantinov. I'm going to zoom in just a touch. This is about, well, if the hammer's down, 30 minutes. If normal driving, about 40 minutes to get from Khmelnytsky up to Starokонstantinov. So, where and why Starokонstantinov? So, this is a beautiful city here, very ancient. I call it a city. It's a small town, small to medium-sized town. It's a military-based town. And this is the city of Starokонstantinov. The river comes in and hooks around, another river comes in, and very ancient cathedrals here, ancient churches. One of the churches dates back to 800s. It's that old. I mean, it's pre-Ukraine, pre-everything. It's ancient there. Not much of it's left. Then the other one's like 1400s. It's a fortress. There's a couple of fortresses in the Khmelnytsky region, one in Starokon. There's also one down in Kamenets-Podolsky. But here, beautiful, beautiful place. A castle, but out to the right, and this is public information, so no problem to show you. This is where the Su-24s are, among other things. And you can see the airbase here. And if I zoom you in really a lot, now this of course is not live. It's not this many planes here now, but this is the typical, to be quite honest, Soviet way. The way they do their air bases. The planes are bunkered around so they can pull out on their own jet power. I've been here. It's an incredible, incredible facility. And one of the most powerful air bases in Ukraine. So that's what we have there. That's why Starokon was the target today. Now, if we come back down, zoom out from the airport, I mean, you can see. Here's Khmelnytsky right here. It's just right up the road. And a lot of storages here around this city. Lots of storages. And, of course, I'm sure most cities have storages, but this city, we know this is our home city. Blake Parker, what a great comment. PZ is an absolute inspiration for running that camp. Not just the boy from New York, but seeing all those kids laughing and playing good spirits, refreshing to see that is possible. Blake, thank you for that. My friend, I can tell you we've got a lot of video and photos coming in from the refugee camp. It's still going on right now. You'll see. Lots of really, really cool things. So thank you for that comment. So that's where we're at. Now, if we compare that to right now, we should be okay. It just went out. So this is current. Now, you see Lugansk over there on the right and the Autonomous Republic of Crimea in the bottom. They're always red, 24/7. The artillery warning is there in Nikopol. I've showed you guys about that place above Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. But for right now, all is quiet, and this is live, 9:15 p.m. Eastern and 4:15 a.m. in Ukraine. They need a break. It's been a very, very difficult day on those guys with the air raids. So let's continue here. Now, frontline movement update. I can tell you Ukraine is taking more territory in the south, but Russia has taken 3 villages in the north. So I'm going to show you this, guys. Let's go here. And I'm just going to go by region so you can see it. So for you to orient yourself, here's Kharkiv, Russian border. There's Belgorod, the Russian city that's always in the news. And then you see the front line drop down. I'm just going to come in here, and I need to get a little closer so you can see the movements. I'm going to turn the clock on, and we'll take each one back for a week. So this is the very northern border. So this is July the 18th, July the 20th, right there. You see this push right there, right there, right there. Okay, so this is the area, and I'm not zoomed in there, but these are the areas where a couple of the villages were taken. I mean, it's a fact. You know, Ukraine, we support them 1,000,000%, and we risk our own lives to support them, and we give our money to support them. But they're, as you would always tell the most positive story, because if you didn't, people would just leave. You know, the defense today said we hit 36 out of 36. Zelensky said we took out few direct hits. I know there was a direct hit. I know it. My friends watched it. I know it. So I'm confident the 33 out of 36 number. Additionally, you know, people are going to come out and say, nope, they're taking nothing. Well, it's give and take. And, you know, the reality is that's what's happening. Let's go back. We'll move down now. This is back to the 18th. So this is going to be Siversk and Bakhmut here. Well, let me just do Siversk, because Bakhmut I need to zoom into for you. There's Siversk. You can see little bit there, but really nothing. Really nothing. We'll come to Bakhmut. We'll go back a week. 18th, 17th, 18th. Ukraine pushing. Ukraine. Stabilizing. Little pushback. Good push on the 24th from Ukraine. Stabilizing. Little repulsion there. So basically, Ukraine eating up a little ground there around Bakhmut. We come down to the other big battle, which is Avdiivka. It's just crazy. Avdiivka is going to end up looking just like Bakhmut, guys. It's destroyed every day. Here's July 17th. We push forward, 18, 20, little push on the north, Russia. I'm clicking through now, and zero movement. Zero. Kind of goes back to what everybody was talking about. Not a frozen front, but a stalled front. So here you can look at the bottom, the south. This is below Velikia Novosilka. We support this city, this town, this area, and this is where Ukraine's made a good push. But here, a little bit, but really nothing. The line's not moved. And then right here's the last piece, because the lines on the river aren't moving. Down below, Kherson. So here we are, the 18th. I'll just zoom in this here, because this is where it's at. 20th, 21, 2, 3. What happened there on the left? Ukraine. 24, Russia pulling back a little bit. 25, Russia pulling back more. So if you've been reading about Ukraine making an advancement on the south, this is where it's at, right here. Which is good. This is below Kharkiv. This is the city where we've been, showed you videos, photo, and they're demolishing that by shelling it every day. And then, so Ukraine making their push down here, Russia making their push up there. And then if you move down toward, you know, the river bottom, nothing. You know, Nikopol just gets hammered and the lines really don't move. Not right now, not at least yet. So that's where we're at there. I want to just put this out here tonight. Let's see here. Oh, we got the F-16 conversation going. Okay, so let me help you guys out on this one. F-16s must have a usable landing strip, not just open highway when they get there someday. And then, not true, highway will do. Okay, so I can help everybody out on that. JDO, then they need to remove 100% of the fogs. Normal highways not possible in Germany. It'll be done as highways are built for that. Okay, so let me just tell you guys, I'll help you out right here. This one I can help you with. Located in Ukraine. Located also in Moldova. Let me go away from that for a second. When the Soviet Union built the road infrastructures, and I know we have people that watch this stream that have lived there and have worked there and can confirm this. So the way the Soviets built the highway and road system, near air bases, there are always highways that are built that can be used as alternate runways. Always. There's no difference now. So earlier, I will not show you the highway, but I'm here to tell you that within 30 miles of the Starokonstantinov Air Base is a highway that is designed to land fighter jets. Moldova has the same. It's the way the Soviet Union built them. And 8,000 feet here from airdrome, no problem. They've got them. So this goes back to Soviet Union days. And here we got, I know Stephen Phelps is connected to Ukraine. Yes, I confirm. I have seen them. Yeah, it's obvious. In fact, when I first started going to Ukraine and Russia in 1994, actually, and I would be out in this foresty area riding in the early days, and then all of a sudden you come out of this forest and there's just this straight road. And you would ask the question, why is this road so straight? Where did the forest go? And all the guys would tell you, this is for the airplanes. This is designed in case we have a war or military issues and our planes need to land and the airport's blown up, they land them here. And they're scattered all throughout Ukraine. They're scattered all throughout Russia. They're scattered through Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, probably Eastern Poland, and then, of course, all that way. So that's the deal there. So that's interesting. Yeah, and they're pretty cool, to be honest with you. They're pretty cool. The only thing cooler than seeing those runways like that are highways now, and there's no guardrails in the middle, nothing, folks. They're designed to land an airplane. Okay. And Ukraine kept them, of course. But the only thing more interesting than that is to be riding down the road, and I've done this many, many times, and you see the old Soviet marker. There'll be an old Soviet marker on the side of the road. Maybe it's not been taken down. I know of a couple that are still in existence, and you know it's military. You don't know what it is really. And then there's this little lane that winds through the woods. And I always ask my buddies, I say, what is that and where is that going? And this is the answer, Greg. That is our missiles that we gave up. Over there, about 5 kilometers in the middle of the woods, is a missile complex. We all know it. Everybody knows it. That's where some of our missiles were. So that's pretty interesting to see as well. So now, with all that said, guys, do not forget Kherson. There you go. Well, this was an interesting one. Bootlegger, welcome to you. The U.S. also builds interstate highways to land on also, as learned from the Germans during World War II. Yes, sir. It's logical. It's smart. So, Kherson. Do not forget Kherson. Every day, you think about where you're at right now. Ukrainians that watch my stream, watch it tomorrow. But wherever you're at right now, you're not in Ukraine. Maybe, I know Skeghead's out there in Australia and it's already tomorrow. Those of you that are in Europe that watch, a lot of our guys in Great Britain that are here every night, it's your early morning wee hours. For us in the U.S., it's 9:26 Eastern. It's 6:26 in California. Life is just normal for us in reality. Think about your last 24 hours. Everything's been smooth for the most part. In Kherson, every day, it's shelled. It is hit with S-300 missiles, artillery launches, you name it, every day. And I know you don't see it in the news. You don't hear about it. Only when massive things happen. It's Odessa right now, or it was Khmelnytsky today. Every day in Kherson. Typically somebody dies in Kherson every day. I was talking to Zhenya today at the camp. He goes, man, it's bad in Kherson. And nobody's saying anything. It's bad, bad, bad. I've got to get back down there. I said, man, I can't wait to get back down there. We base for our southern help down there in Kherson. And it's a beautiful place, but every day. I've got a little video here I want to share with you. Kherson. I will translate the older gentleman for you. But here, this is Kherson today.
Сильный взрыв был.
He said there was been a big explosion here.
И я отбросила без головы
My
наполовину.
wife was sitting at the table and blew her back against the wall, and half of her head is now burned off and all of her arms are broken, but she's alive. So, I just want to put it out there. Don't forget Kherson. It is every day. Every day. Now, can confirm for you also, you guys probably know this, or maybe you don't, but the Shahed 136s are being produced in Russia. We talked about that. We also talked about possible production in Belarus, definitely production in Russia. And, when these things go down, do not explode, a dud happens, whatever. Of course, Ukraine recovers them. So the, what are they called? The winglets there. Winglets. You can see there, it's not with the Iranian writing. It's actually in Cyrillic, and that's actually the Russian language. It's the model number, which is version 2, 002, and then Garan 2, or Garan 2. And what that means is generation 2 geranium. So this is why I have the picture there. You see the Shahed of what it looks like, and you see the side fins. They're definitely being produced in Russia. How much does it cost to produce a Shahed? Between 10,000 US dollars and 50,000 US dollars, depending on what they put into it, but typically 10 to 50,000 per. Just think how many they can build. Limitless. I mean, with Putin's economy, it's nothing. Today, Lukashenko let it slip. Did you catch it that they admitted it publicly? It was from Iran. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's how many corners Russia's cutting in production. That's correct. But I can tell you one thing. I almost was going to show this video tonight. There was a documentary coming out, but I wasn't sure about copyright on it. But it was just released of how many ships are running in the Caspian Sea between Russia and Iran. It's like a crazy amount. And of course, it's nothing but supplies. So Lukashenko today talking in his normal speeches. I know typically you're not watching Lukashenko speak, but I do. And he says, naval blockade is coming to the Black Sea. Many times Lukashenko kind of speaks for Putin. I think it's a part of the game they play. But Lukashenko said, yeah, we're going to block that Black Sea because we don't like what's happening. Additionally, so I know you say, well, we can't listen to Lukashenko. That's correct. But we can pay attention and then combo it with MI6. And MI6 coming out today and said, yes, what Lukashenko said is correct. Russia is formulating the strategic plans with the Navy to block that Black Sea corridor. And if that happens, Jens Stoltenberg and NATO came out today and said, we're going to find a way to get the grain out. Yes, there are land routes. There are other things they can do, but they can't move the volume as they can with the ships. And of course, the grain is being targeted. We could see something brewing over the Black Sea. Ukraine making drones out of cardboard. That's correct. So do you know where that plans came from? I showed you. They came from Australia. I think it was a couple months ago. Australian guys doing that. Chill, dude. Could Russia be behind the coup in Niger? Absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to show you something about that, you prophet. Russia, Africa, having an economic forum today. Now, not all heads of state, but 49 out of 54 African nations are in St. Petersburg tomorrow and the day after, the 27th and 28th of July, for an economic forum. Vladimir Putin will be there talking with these African leaders. 19 of them are heads of states, whether it's, a president or prime minister, whatever their local government is there in the nations. But 49 nations represented at the highest level there for the economic forum. So I have a question for you. Who do you think controls Africa? I can tell you it's Russia and China. No question. I was just in Tanzania 6 weeks ago. I'm telling you, Russia and China own it. Now, if you want to see something interesting, check this little thing out here. Russia preparing for the economic forum there in St. Petersburg. They've put their cars out for display. The Lada brand, which is Russian. And this is 2023. But folks, take a look at these cars. This is a big joke actually in Ukraine and even in Russia about Ladas. And if those that know English, it's a lot of junk, it's a lot of mess, whatever. But here, check this out. This is the welcome. This is where the event will be. These are Ladas. I mean, it looks like 1990. There it is. Russia, Africa. If you look in the upper right there, above the 2002 Toyota Corolla, which is disguised as a 2023 Lada. St. Petersburg 2023 Second Summit Economic and Humanitarian Forum. So that's what's happening there. With that said, you guys have seen it. Go here for you. Soldiers in Niger claim to have overthrown President Mohamed Bazoum. I do not know, of course. I know that Russia is very intermingled with Sudan. I'm not sure about Niger. I do have a very close personal friend that works in Niger. He's there 4 times a year for quite a bit of time. So I've got a question for him to ask him. You ever see any Russian influence there? So we'll go find out. But Niger today is just chaos. Here's Niger. So more of the same, the chaos and, This is the world, honestly. Whether Russia's got anything to do with Niger or not, I don't know. Who knows? We may find out. But this is the world Russia wants. They want the world in chaos. Now, it's not only deal-making day with the African nations starting tomorrow. There's also deal-making day that happened today. North Korea coming out and saying they will supply Russia with more shells, artillery, whatever they need. We're buddies. So what happened? Shoigu. Oh, remember Shoigu, who 2 months ago or 6 weeks ago was going to be deposed. And, he'll be knocked off. He'll be thrown off an apartment building and poisoned or whatever. We said, no, he won't. No, he won't. He's the man. And it doesn't matter what anybody says. He's the man for Vladimir Putin. And today, Shoigu, representing Russia, making a state visit in Moscow. I'm going to show you a little bit of video there today. I read also, are you guys talking about Yugos? Okay. Lavrov was in Uganda about a month ago. That's correct. Wagner, Prigozhin. Yeah, listen, we haven't heard the last of them. I promise you. Chinese representation at the meeting today too. I did also, and for sure they were there. So I've got video. I'm going to show you Shoigu landing. I'm just going to let it play. It shows how he's welcomed. But listen, this is 1959 Soviet Union. This is Khrushchev. This is Brezhnev. Just look at the video. Look at the soldiers. Look at the music. Everything. The walk down the red carpet. It's like we're watching a movie from the 60s. Here it is. Shoigu, state visit. Why is he there? Weapons. Here he is coming in the plane. See it? This is interpreter on the right. The dude on the left, folks, look him up on Google. He's the one always beside Kim Jong-un. The guy back there conducting. Oh my goodness. The Korean walking just a little bit behind. Shoigu saluted. Right there it's saying, "We welcome you, Minister of Defense, Sergei Shoigu." There's the perfect picture of the perfect soldier. Is it 2023 or did we wake up in 1959? That's all I'm asking. That was today. Yeah, definitely the Soviet look. Shoigu said today that Rocket Boy, North Korea, one of the strongest armies in the world, almost fell off my seat. Yeah. North Korea is an enigma. Of course, they don't have one of the strongest armies, but what they do have is a lot of people. But, you know, they have stuff that can kill Ukrainians. That's the problem. That's the problem. Last couple of things here for tonight. Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. Ukraine coming out today and saying, listen, missiles are flying. Shoigu's in North Korea. They're talking about a naval blockade. Please do not forget Zaporozhye. We're getting more intelligence by the day. Something is coming. So we're putting it out there. Additionally, 2 locations now of Wagner in Belarus. I have 2 marks there. On the right, well, first of all, outlined in the black is Belarus. Outlined in the blue below it is Ukraine. To the left is Poland. I didn't add the flags up there of the Baltics, and then to the right is Russia. 2 locations now of Wagner buildup. And we're not worried about it, but we need to be aware of it. They continue to roll in. So the one location, far left corner near Brest, that's the Volyn region of Ukraine, Brest region of Belarus, and then it's just above Lublin, Poland. When I'm going in and out of Ukraine by car, I'm going through Lublin. That's where I'm at. And there it's built up. That's the game with the Poles on the border there. And additionally, between Minsk and Babrusk is the secondary location. And I can show you that here. It's called Osipovici on the left. That is a picture from July the 10th, 2023. On the right is a picture from yesterday, July the 25th, 2023. The amount of vehicles and equipment has been counted. It's over 750 pieces. So it's just what it is, folks. We keep talking about it. You know, one thing for sure, Prigozhin's crazy. Wagner's crazy. Half of them are criminals. Half of them are mercenaries. They do a decent job fighting. So you have to pay attention, especially when you see it just continuing to build up. And I'm sure we'll be seeing more of that. Last thing for tonight, that is this. This is a presidential. So this is much like our government here in U.S. You can go on and you can see the official documents. There's a couple of things that President Zelensky signed off on today that we need to be aware of. One is mobilization and martial law are extended through November of 2023. So they keep extending them. I think a couple of months I told you that it was extended through August. Well, today you can see over on the right, well, if you can't read it, it says President Ukraine. And the martial law is extended into November. Additionally, today, President Zelensky abolished the tax cut, meaning pre-war, if you had business, there was a tax rate. And I don't know what the number was. But when the war started, Ukraine was trying to help their citizens. So they dropped that tax rate to 2%. And that way people could get their money in because people are buying stuff nonstop for the military, clothes, donating, everything. So Ukraine was trying to make a way for all the citizens to work together. Remember, we're talking about 30 million people, not, if it was the U.S., 330 million people. And I know 30 million, 33 million is still a lot of people, but when you compare it 10x, it's very small. Russia, 142 million, so 4x, it's much larger, maybe 150 million. That's Russia, so they will do things differently. Ukraine has to operate differently. They don't have the money. But today, President Zelensky had to cut that. So the business tax rate, and I assume it's starting tomorrow because he signed it today, goes back to the pre-war normal rate. Many Ukrainians are complaining about it. You know, they've been used to this lower tax rate so they could have more money to help their families and military. But what it tells us is very simple. It's tough economically in Ukraine. We know that. We know the power grid is messed up. It's going to be problems going into the fall and winter. They're already telling folks the price of gas has went up 3 hryvnia, like 10% over the last few days, and it's going to lock there. And that's for gas to put in the vehicle. And it's a challenge. Everything is expensive. So Ukraine's struggling economically. 30 million, Mark McLaren. Didn't realize the population was that big. Scotland's only 5.5 million. Did I say that right with my Scottish? 5.5. I thought 40 million. Okay, so Stephen Phelps, at the peak, Ukraine was 48 million. And then you had the Orange Revolution, 2008. It went down to 42 million. And then after this war, during this war, 33 million in country. Yes, there are 50 million Ukrainians, but in country, 33 million. So that's where we're at right now. Listen, if I had Jenya in here right now, and he's doing the camp, that's why he's not here right now. But if he was in here, he would go, excuse me, 28 million. He's convinced there's 28 million Ukrainians in Ukraine right now. And why would I go against a Ukrainian who works with the government and the military the way he does? He probably knows. It's how we know that Khmelnytsky was hit today. We just have friends in the right places. So that's where we're at. So Zhenya would say 28 million, but who knows? Somewhere it's tough. Stephen Phelps, you know what, man? Thank you. I'm hosting 3, not 3 million, but 3. So Stephen, thank you for doing that. Yeah, it was a good night, guys. Thank you for being here. You know what? I think everybody's enjoying the live. I'm going to do them as often as I can. The banner back and forth. Zhenya and I talking today. Also, I will check things right now before I hop off. Let's see. Okay. So, here we go. Niger. To speak about Niger. So, it's coming out right now, Ukrainian news, that this could be connected to Russia work down there. Of course, you know, they probably would say that, but the president of Niger that has been expelled through the coup was a pro-Western president. He was calling on the EU and the US for help with Niger to stabilize the region. Niger is extremely poor, third world, but it has lots of natural resources. And the military coup that came and went against them are supported by the East. So there you have it. That's coming out right now, about 3 minutes ago. And I'll give you one more look at the air raid for tonight. So far, so good. So thank you guys. Appreciate you. Wish I knew more about Ukraine and Soviet defenses. Still like the special roadways for planes. Yeah. Listen, let me tell you. Okay. Here, let me tell you. If you want to know, I don't know if I can find it. But let me switch this to the map view, and I'll bring you guys in here. So I'm gonna tell you a story as I close out tonight. I hope you guys enjoy it. So speaking about the Soviet infrastructure, this is 100% true story, and the next time Zhenya's in here, he will confirm it. But go here. This is Moldova. So we had to make a trip to Kishinev, and this just a few years ago. And we were in Khmelnytsky. So we actually drove down and we crossed the border here at Mogiliev-Podilsky at the border checkpoint here. We came over to Edinets right here in Moldova. And then we came down this highway through Balti. They actually call it Baltsi, but we would, you see the B-A-L-T-I, but Baltsi, the Romanian influence. And we came down, and do you guys see right here, this M2 straight road right there? Do you see that road? I don't mind showing you Moldovan stuff right there. Well, that's the M2 highway. Adjacent to that is another road that you veer off of and you drop down and it runs parallel. We were driving in there late at night one night. It was Rostislav, Zhenya, and myself, and we're heading to Kishinev. We wanted to find something to drink. There's no exits. There's nothing. Zero. Dark. So we just come off and go down this dirt road, and we went over to a farmhouse. We're crazy. Went over to a farmhouse. And got refreshments, went to get back on the road, got turned around in the dark, and ended up on the wrong road. We drove on this road for about 40 kilometers. Huge, wide highway. We never saw one car. When we came toward the end of it, there was this red marker and then this bridge. And we just had something in us that said, you know what, there's something wrong here. There's no cars. Well, there's something wrong. We exited off the road, literally just driving off the road down through a field, got up on a dirt road, worked our way back to this little village. We stopped. We went up to a farmer's house and we said, hey, man, we were on the road over there, but there's no cars, there's no people, there's no lights. And for 40 kilometers, we haven't seen anybody. Is everything okay in Moldova? He goes, oh yeah, no problem. He goes, but you can't be on that road. We said, what are you talking about? He goes, you got on at the village up there, didn't you? Back up north. We said, yeah. He goes, you went the wrong way. That's a restricted road. You had to go the other way and get back on the M2. You were on the military road. So Moldova, that the Soviet Union built, has a military road that's built directly from Kishinev all the way up to Beltsy. And some of it's still there and some of it's not. We got on the part that was still there, and you can land airplanes on that. You could land Hugh Hefner's airplane. What? No, not Hugh Hefner. What was that's the Playboy guy. Hubert Humphrey. You could land a Spruce Goose on that thing in a 747. The point being, they're everywhere. So there's a little story as we go out. Hope that helps you. That's the way it is. All right, guys, you be blessed. And thank you for being here. We'll see you Friday night, if not before. Thank you for continuing to subscribe, give, like, comment. Patreon, I've been updating there constantly. And we just appreciate all of you guys. Talking to Jenya today, the big stream's coming. He's pumped. We're going to really put something together good for a fundraiser. So you guys be blessed. Thank you, Air Jerome. I see that Led Zeppelin's playing. Yeah. All right, guys, be blessed. We'll see you soon. Good night.